Hi, Mr. Bjornsson. Do you have any cheese for sale?
What do I have for cheese? Let's see. We've got the Munster, the Gouda, the Brie.
Do you have any stinky cheese?
You cops.
I can't help the fact that I feel this way.
The 90s, a time full of renaissance and drugs. If you're a 90s kid or even a 90s baby, then you'll remember a certain animation block that Disney Channel used to host, Disney Afternoon. While not intentional, the common thread between all the shows was taking pre-existing characters and putting them in wacky scenarios. Baloo from the Jungle Book had Tailspin. Uncle Scrooge went on to have Indiana Jones-style adventures in DuckTales. Next, we have my favorite, Third Avenger, Darkwing Duck. But we're not here to talk about him. We're here to talk about Chip and Dale, how they basically became the rescuers. The reboot movie takes the original idea of the Rescue Rangers and flips it on its head, making it another meta commentary on film and animation. You see, in this incarnation of Chip and Dale, they're actors and childhood friends, not brothers, making them a lot like the Looney Tunes Goofy Gophers.
Oh, Tosh,
Yes, chum?
would you like to split this tangerine soda?
Actually, I never have carbonation in the afternoon.
I should have known that. Terribly sorry.
What if I did something like...
I am into nuts.
Good, I love it.
The whole drama of the show pops off when Dale decides to do a spin-off show titled Double O Dale, thus breaking up the Rescue Rangers cast. Almost 30 years later, after the gang has gone their separate ways, Chip sells insurance, Dale frequents the Comic-Con circuit, and might be a stripper. Gadget and Zipper got married and have mutant babies.
She fucked a snail. I watched her fuck a snail once. That sounds weird, right? Just hearing me say it? Imagine how weird it was to see it. She fucked a snail!
I always thought Zipper was like her dog. So it's like, is Starfire married Silky? Gross. Lastly, we have Monty, who has fallen in harder than the rest of the crew, as his addiction to cheese leads him in debt with the Valley Gang, a trafficking operation that takes tunes and alters their appearance to be shipped overseas to produce bootleg versions of their shows and movies. So without spoiling too much of the movie, let's talk about the animation versus the art style. The common misconception, but people switch this up all. The animation is not that bad. Characters move how they're supposed to and definitely have their own style depending on the art style, which is the other thing we need to talk about. In a perfect world, we would stick to the Roger Rabbit Looney Tunes back in action style, having 2D animation, but in the real world, that does exist, but only for certain characters. In universe, it's akin to having plastic surgery. The cell shading animation throws me off, and I would have preferred if we had it one way or the other. Either keep it 2D or make everyone like Dale. People like Peter Pan being nauseous in the movie because it's shading on a 3D model and it looks weird. 2D shading on a 3D model, I don't know. It didn't work for me. But that's just me. I understand logistically that it probably would have been more costly to animate 2D, but it's Disney. If they have the rights to a bunch of cameos, I think they can pay their animators. Speaking of cameos, there are a lot. Not in a Space Jam 2 kind of way or a Multiverse of Madness kind of way where the cameos are just there for the sake of cameos. I mean, kind of, but in the movie they actually serve a purpose, which again, it did in Multiverse of Madness, but that's just a side jab. So let's talk about the grand poobah of all cameos.
Yeah, Dale, I'm gonna be up on that stage too, right beside you. They'll like me for who I am. Not like last time when the internet got one look at my human teeth and burned the place down.
You've probably heard about this. The internet would not shut up about it. day the movie came out. That being Ugly Sonic. And is it just me? Did they make him uglier than he was in the actual movie trailer? No. Something just doesn't feel right. I'm glad we didn't get that Sonic, but I don't remember him looking that funky. We live in a timeline where both theatrical versions of Sonic have been released with a lot of praise, I might add. I think this movie really enjoys talking about history of Hollywood and animation because there are references to Janky Cgi and different types of methods, including 2D and 3D. There's a bit where they talk about things like the Uncanny Valley and small jabs at movies like The Polar Express and Beowulf. There are cameos in this movie that honestly I have no idea how Disney's legal team did what they did, but kudos to them. Never piss off the mouse. Yeah, you got people like Sora, Randy Marsh, Jimmy Neutron, and many, many more. I thought Andy Samberg and John Mulaney did a fine job as Chip and Dale, respectively. Although, when I hear them, I hear Spider-Ham and Jake Peralta. I don't mind the celebrity voice actors, and honestly, the sped-up voices would have been grating over time. The dynamic of them being childhood friends and always being as close as brothers makes up for them not being actually brothers. And you can see how much they care about each other, even when Dale's decision breaks up the team. I thought Ellie's character was fine. They used her sparingly, which is good because, you know, this is a story about animation and cartoons, and I'm glad we didn't focus too much on the live action characters. I thought JK's character was pretty funny. He was kind of like a Gumby type character. And if you know the history behind the whole Peter Pan controversy. If you don't, Google it. I personally don't think the studio had any intention of being harmful, but I can see how, if you knew about the history of that actor, history behind the character of Peter Pan, how this would be labeled as out of touch, tone deaf, maybe.
Animation is so hard! People who do this for a living deserve more credit and respect!
Overall, I don't think this was a bad movie. It was enjoyable. I laughed. It was a pretty tight movie. I never really got bored. I liked seeing all the Rescue Rangers together. But hopefully going forward, if they do decide to make a sequel, focus more on interpersonal relationships and less of the cameos. Although, if they do decide to do some kind of like Super Smash Bros. Disney Afternoon cinematic universe, that would be dope. And for the love of God, give us a Darkwing movie.
Darkwing! We want Darkwing! Say it with me. We want Darkwing! What a load of malarkey.
Please. Or a Darkwing show a la DuckTales 2017. If you agree or disagree with anything that I've said, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you know the next time we upload. And thanks for watching.